The threat to our system of government was very large, and we need to hear from all of the parties who have information so we can get the complete picture so we can protect our country going forward.
The question is, will we ever actually hear from all the parties? Kevin McCarthy and the 4 other House Republicans are supposed to appear before the end of the month, but one New York Times bestselling author turned activist made it very clear today he ain't holding his breath. We welcome to the show this evening Don Winslow. His latest book, City on Fire, the first in a new trilogy, but it will be his last series. He's retiring from writing to focus on one thing, political activism. Don, welcome. You, my friend, are not shy about your frustration with the January 6th committee. Today you posted this. After 16 months, the January 6th committee finally subpoenaed Kevin McCarthy, Jim Jordan, and 3 more. But it doesn't matter. It's too late. Hearings are next month. McCarthy already said he would not cooperate. This is all theater. This is all theater. None of these people will ever testify on TV or under oath. I get it. You're mad.
I'm mad.
What should the committee have done differently?
Well, started much earlier. It took 6 months to form this committee. It took 1 week after the John Kennedy assassination to form that committee. They should have issued subpoenas immediately instead of issuing invitations. What's an invitation? What is a courtesy meeting? Why are we bringing people in behind closed doors and telling them or asking them, please talk to us, when we saw them committing crimes? It's ridiculous. Now we're 16 months into this thing, and we're just now issuing subpoenas. How are we going to enforce these subpoenas, Stephanie?
So do you think Democrats are being naive when they talk about moral obligations? In that last segment, I heard the word unprecedented over and over. For 4 years, we talked about how things were unprecedented and they wouldn't happen again. But here we are.
Well, everything's been unprecedented. Let's start with a presidential candidate paying hush money to a porn star. Let's start with a presidential candidate making fun of a disabled reporter. Let's talk about a man who came on your network and said that he, fired Jim Comey in order to shut down the Russian investigation. Precedent. How many unprecedented things do we need to take action here?
Then have you lost faith in Democrats? Because at the end of the day, if they're expecting Republicans to do the right thing, the only person they should look to is Merrick Garland, who would be on the Supreme Court today if Republicans did do the right thing.
Yeah, if the Republicans had a moral obligation or whatever that phrase was, Merrick Garland would be on the Supreme Court. What we're looking for now, what we absolutely need to do is put heavy pressure on Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice to pursue this investigation, because it's too late now for this committee to do it. The clock's going to run out.
Let's talk about different consequences, though, because remember when Trump was running again and people said he just wants to stay in office to avoid consequences. Since he left office, what are those consequences? Jared and Ivanka are richer than ever. Trump remains the most powerful man in the Republican Party. And I don't see anybody who's going through real punishment.
There have been no consequences. We live in a world without consequences, except, sadly, the consequences are to us. You saw it the other day with overturning Roe v. Wade. That was a consequence.
So is this why you're leaving writing to go full-time activist? What's making you do this?
January 6th, largely. Look, it's been on my mind since 2016, since the Trump election. And, I've been very active on Twitter. My partner, Shane Salerno, and I produced these videos together. I think they've had some effect. The candidates tell us so. We've had over 250 million views of these videos. So I think we are getting something done. We're speaking to people. I think that we're at an existential point in American democracy. We're in an existential crisis. Either we're going to move ahead as a country that guarantees rights for everybody, regardless of race or gender or sexual orientation, or we're going to fall back into the sort of shoddy, sorry fascism represented by Trump and his imitators. I'm at a great point in my career. This career has been fantastic to me, better than I'd ever dreamed of. But now is a time for me to pay it back. And I think that my best effort should be in this fight.
How worried are you? We're heading into the midterms that we're not talking about voting rights legislation. We were months ago, weeks ago. It's not happening now. And if voting rights aren't protected, none of this matters.
Absolutely. I'm very worried about it. What did happen to the voting rights argument? And also, one thing we need to focus on are the Secretary of State races in these various states. Because
Tell us why.
Well, because you have radical Republicans who are, promulgating the big lie about the stolen election, running for those offices. They'll control how the votes go, how the votes are counted in those states. So we could be in deep trouble in our democracy if enough of those people get into those offices.
Well, Don Winslow, you are out there putting up a fight. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope to speak to you soon.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.